Hello, I'm Len. I am the Executive Director of Hand-Eye Society, which is an arts and video game organization based out of Toronto, Canada. So we play games, explore games, look at games as pieces of artistic work. So today we're going to be playing Mortician's Tale, which is a fabulous little game by Laundry Bear, all about the death industry. So I've never played this game, so I'm very excited to sort of see what is going on and what's happening. So, have it open. And let me know if my sound is weird or anything is happening. Let's see if I can make this a little bit louder. Okay. Ooh, I can change the highlight color. I like blue. Okay. So this was made by the fantastic Andrew and Gabby. And I'm so cute. I love this room. Why is my one pot so blue? Alright, let's see my desk. Hello, desk. Hello, cat. Hello, and welcome to our new funeral director. From Matthew Jeffrey to Charlie. I'm going to assume that I'm Charlie. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name is Matthew, and I'm going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and help with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy's a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing y'all can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Matthew J., Funeral Director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Hello and welcome. Hello everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie as she told me she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon where we can all get to know each other a little better as well. Sincerely, Amy Rose, founder and director. Some instructions from Amy. Hello, Charlie. Well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have questions working at these stations, but please let me know if you have experience working with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. Best, Amy Rose, founder and director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Jen Love. Aw, hi Jen. I guess my subject line to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight out after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's not something I really think about much. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry because, as I said, you're now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London and not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for a Funeral Monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift. I love you. I'm super proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you. Jen L., Museum Curator, London Pathology Museum. Well, I love that for us. We're such good friends. Secret fun fact, worked at a funeral home. Not as an embalmer, but I worked making sure that all of the records were in place and that the people were in the right graves. So, I'm excited to see how this goes. Amy Rose. Apply with auto response. Not yet. Hello, Charlie. Hope you've settled in okay so far. Matthew should be dropping off your first body for you to work on. He said that you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body processing preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon. Amy Rose. I know that this game sort of like explores some of the care and I guess like intimacy of the death industry. It's a very strange industry to be a part of. Like, I find it deeply fascinating. From Funeral Monthly, tips for good etiquette at a funeral. Thanks for subscribing. Each month we bring you a new newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I really can't believe that we have to write this one out, but since we'd said we'd answer your most popular questions, here we are. Because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that. But here are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at a funeral. Generally, following the guidelines of don't be a jerk should work. Don't be on your cell phone. We understand that you're busy, but this is a time and a place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do so inside of the funeral home. Don't be loud and obnoxious. We can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space they might need. Don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own ways, but remember to be respectful with the grieving family and friends. Oh, apparently I'm having an issue talking. 1 second. Happily reminisce. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of the healing process. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to someone, but even a simple "I'm thinking of you" can go a long way. Dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture, but always dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and their grieving family. Give a gift or sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's the thought that counts here. Sometimes this can even just be cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care and want to help them through the healing process is what matters here. Be kind and be helpful. I know I'm like already going to get emotional in this game, but it's hard not to, and I think that's sort of like, I think there's something really nice about the exploration of these types of thoughts and feelings that everyone has to deal with and come to terms with. So I'm gonna reply to Amy. Sure thing. I'll get right to it. I'm so very curious as to why this is a different color. Hello, Miss Garcia. This is the prep room where you will prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you are just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag it over the body to clean it. Sponge. This is like already very intense and intimate. That's it, you're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of the dressing and put her in the casket. It's time to go to Miss Garcia's funeral. You're responsible for taking care of the deceased bodies, but it's also important to pay your respects to their loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. She would have hated these paintings. She was so peculiar. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. That's... Yeah, I guess. Okay, so people don't say a second thing when I click on them. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be using a chemical that's known to cause cancer and putting it in the ground like that. Or in the sewer. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain? At least embalming guarantees that you wouldn't be buried alive. Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. I'm hungry. Can we go? Can I eat? No. Okay. I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. Garcia. We usually don't small talk a lot at these things. At least that's what I've always been taught. I guess I'm paying my respects to Mrs. Garcia. Alright, bye. Enjoy your funeral. Oh, it's just so somber. Okay, so let me explain this in a little bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen that we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associated with fainting or hysteria, it's actually been associated with viscerotopus, which is when the organs fall into the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant. So, too long didn't read. Of course, it's probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. And I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kind of things I specifically research, and yet I'm treated like I know nothing about it. I'm having a day, Charlie. One of the things that I learned is that corset wearing was not nearly as invasive as everyone seems to make it out to be. It's really just an undergarment for most people, and particularly stays. The recreation process of different, like, historical garments is deeply fascinating to me. Okay. Let's do sincerely. Just passing this message along. Thank you for the hard work, Charlie. Hi, Amy. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way. I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you so much for making this difficult time easier for all of us. Best, Mia. 1 second. Obligatory cat who is here to say hello because he wants love. You want to be part of the death industry, Mayik? You can be my studio cat for all things embalming. From Matthew Jeffrey, a story about death. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients to their latest trip around town, and I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you about the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager, about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed. In a car accident, totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff, messed me and my friends up real good. But, so the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, too. So we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, you know? While we were in the procession going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out some asshat driver who doesn't know to not get in the way of a procession drove through the intersection and smashed right into my friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God. But can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in the way that makes you not sure if it's really just crying or they've gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed. And then we all started giggling because, go figure. Life is messed up sometimes, you know? There's no moral, no point to the story, I guess. I just remember that story and I wanted to tell you. Because we work with death all the time, I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Oh, before you get any ideas, it has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later, and is nothing remarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. Matthew J. Are we all funeral directors? Am I also a funeral director? From Funerals Monthly. What to wear when you're attending a funeral from a different culture. We all know everybody wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes. At least around the grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of a pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more towards the formal, black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know this goes back to the times of the Roman Empire where people would wear black as a symbol for mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning, Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning, though. If you're attending a funeral that's from a culture that's not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, the wrong choice could mean accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and Chinese cultures, white is a typical color for funerals. For Islam, though, it's less about the color you're wearing and more about how modestly you're dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful for your behavior. For Sikh funerals, the color of the clothing isn't as important as it is dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. Actually, being respectful is just the #1 rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you're attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you, so be sure to do whatever you can to be respectful and supportive as possible. Even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at funerals, or even if it just means asking how you can be appropriate to show your respects. Oh, I have another tab. I have some water. Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home was founded by my grandparents back in 1956. The Rose family has proudly served the area since then, providing personal, affordable funeral services for all. I am proud to have carried on my family's business for the last 36 years, working with the best and brightest funeral directors and grief counselors in the area. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you've recently experienced a loss and would like us to help you through this hard time. Oh, funerals. I love how clean everything is designed, though. Alright, let's do our next job. Hi, Charlie. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one, and the family is very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval, an elderly man, died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duval, if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. P.S. Charlie, dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instinct is hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew. He knows. Alright, next job. Ooh, PPE. I'm all kitted out. Alright, Mr. Duval. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Ugh. Let's start by cleaning the body. Alright, clean. It's like so intimate to be staring at a dead body. Lick the razor and drag it all over the body to shave it. I feel like there's always an assumption about how people should look when you're posing bodies. It's always very strange when you're at a funeral and you see someone who's passed and they look like how the embalmer expected them to look, rather than what they looked like. In order to break rigor mortis, you'll have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. The eyeballs deflated once the body started decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it a shape. keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Click and drag the glue onto each eye to shut it. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth and give it shape. To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle and thread it over the jaw to close it. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. I feel like it would be nice to play this on a touchscreen. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck to make an incision. You're going to need a tube for draining the blood. Click the tube and drag it into the neck incision. Okay. Click into the cannula and drag it into the carotid artery. This is how you'll get the preserving chemicals into the bloodstream. Now you need to connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the cannula. Click the button on the embalming machine to turn it on. In order to eventually distribute the chemicals, you'll have to massage them through the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. Massage. What is it like to massage a dead body? It's a weird thought. It's a thought that I never thought I'd think. So I want to watch, you can't watch embalming videos. There's no way that you can do that. I feel like that's, not cool to post on. How many times do you massage the body? Great! Now let's sew that incision. Click and drag the needle thread over the incision to close it. Goodbye, incision. Almost done. You'll need to drain the organs of any remaining fluid. Click on the trocar and then click and hold on the abdomen until all the liquid has been drained. Spooky. And you're done. Mike will take care of Mr. Duvall's makeup, as well as dressing and putting him in the casket. It's time to attend the funeral. Alright, let's go meet the grieving family. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah. 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and then the next, poof, that person is gone. Just gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about for too long. Like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. It's so weird how our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. Yeah. So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but definitely not red, no matter what. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Hello, child on an iPad. Humming to himself. Alright. Goodbye, Mr. Garcia. Or no, you're Mr. Duvall. Mrs. Garcia was the last patient. This is such a weird thought. How often do people die? Because we're having like one person a month, and I feel like the like funeral home that I worked at was already full. So there was never any new people. I just had to make sure that people were like buried where they said they were buried. Hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Best, Amy Rose. I can never ask Amy questions. She keeps being like, you can ask me so many questions. No need alarm. So many alarms. Passing on this lovely thank you note. Amy Rose, founder and director. Hi, Amy. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you. Meet cutes for death positive cuties. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate it when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody since the breakup of 2014, that we will never speak again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask you about your day. So maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy goth aesthetic are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Jen, I can take vitamin D pills. That's fine. Mom rant over. I'm going to try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine on our next Skype date. This game came out in 2017, and I think it is hilarious to think that Skype existed and then totally dropped the ball and Zoom took over. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. Jen. Uh-oh. My paycheck is coming late. Matthew. I don't like the look of this. Not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyways, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm gonna grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone. And swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm going to take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. More learning about the death industry. Okay, this is long. I'm going to take a proper... This is so much reading. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are, at times, subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names, and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. I'm gonna get emotional about this. Okay. Ooh, we can do it. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased's wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraught directive. Enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined upon verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or other certain sources, enter unknown. Blah, blah, blah. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation obviously enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained biases, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased gender identity as they lived with. So, a step in the right direction. Oh. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survived the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come to your office. In America, especially some marriages might not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage, but this doesn't mean that you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other for the same way as any other couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is to ensure that the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Oh, okay. Time to cremate someone. Ooh. Hello. You're in a box getting cremated. And I'm in emotional distress. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process as to not damage them. Let's start by removing Mrs. Hall's necklace. Click and drag the necklace and place it on the purple tray. We replace the necklace in the urn with Mrs. Hall's remains later. We need to be able to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag the round identification tag and place it on the coffin. Right here. Great. Mrs. Hall's all set to be cremated now. Goodbye, Mrs. Hall. Hello, Mrs. Hall. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation does not turn bodies into ash, so much as bone fragments. Using the cremulator, break those bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremulator. Urn. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the top of the cremulator. Cremulator. Okay, yes. Now that all the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back into the counter. Make sure to put Mrs. Hall's necklace back into the urn. Click the necklace and drag it into the urn. Don't forget the tag. Click the round identification tag and yep, put a lid on. Yep. All done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. Hello, family. Time to chat. This is nice, in a weird way. She liked that we're all here together, talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Glad she was cremated and not in like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye today. She would have liked that. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. February 14th. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. Okay. Hi all. It is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. No. Go away, spam. No. Also, to be clear, that was line, which is for putting into the window frame. That always took a really long time for me to figure out. I wish to delete this comment. Ban. Go away, commenter. No spam. Okay. Let's restart this. It is with a very heavy heart that I write to you to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me that it would be best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct, but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. And you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition, but it's been getting harder and harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There is a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are. We can't take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way this goes. So we've been bought, or I sold. Either way, soon Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Homes for tax purposes. Though, honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything that I can do about it at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact, somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you were all worried without a job. That sentence is hard for me. Sorry I didn't tell you about it in a more personal way. I would have loved to have company lunch, but I I didn't have the heart to tell you all in person. This was easier for me. Please understand. Sincerely, Amy Rose. Charlie, I thought you'd like to see this thank you note. Hi, Amy. I'm so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. Emotional. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been happy with it. It's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you. Again, from the bottom of my heart. Hi, Amy. I don't know what to do. Forward. Hi. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor and other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today. Not my usual self. And it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. Amy's gonna die. She is gonna be our final person that we do the death. The dealing with the body part. The morticianing. Your treasure, Charlie. Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out, and you would know somebody that I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy, and she's not in any pain now. But I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work and the will and trying to just be the best mom that she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. Brian, get a therapy. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? Tales of the Crypt Keeper? Good game. It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working on that overnight front desk job at the hotel for 3 years, but I may have gotten rusty. Anyways, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves that you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High scores get to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town. Jen. Alright, prepare for this. Oh, sending me my, like, newsletter at 8 a.m. That's bold. You've lived your life mindfully of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution and generally helping out when you can. So why not continue doing that even after death? At least, that's the thinking of a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's that bodies are allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is it better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people, the environment, just maybe not as good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. This is one thing that I found so super stressful about working at a cemetery, is that someone behind me sold packages for funeral, like, arrangements, which I also learned that it's like a fairly common wedding gift, maybe not like in a contemporary fashion, but it was to purchase the funeral plot for a couple when they were married. But this guy behind me would like always try and upsell people on their death packages, which was just always really weird because it's like a lot of elderly people, and it always felt like one of those things where you're really taking advantage of like a very specific and vulnerable community. So what I learned, get your death package now, I guess, before you die. And then when you die, no one has to deal with what it is that they're gonna deal with. I actually want to look this up after. Okay. Union Cemetery, Ontario. Because I live in Ontario. I live in Toronto. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore preserved natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We here at Funeral Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. I think the green burials are cool. That's how I would like to be dealt with. That's how you would say it. That's, I think, what I would like to happen to my corporeal form after I pass. It seems very permanent to be embalmed in a way that, like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with. Like, will my body exist longer than I was alive? That's my question. That's a Googleable thing. Cremation. Pacemaker? Hi Charlie, please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Best, Amy. Hi Amy. You asked if there was any special instructions we'd want to pass along. Just, please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Thanks, Mariana. Alright, let's get that pacemaker out. And cremate this body. Mr. Rees came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide us for any to include. However, Mr. Rees has a pacemaker that we need to remove before cremation. Oh my god. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. No, I do not want. Let's start by removing Mr. Rees' pacemaker. Click and drag the scalpel over the heart to make an incision. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps and drag out the pacemaker. Put the forceps away, then place the round identification tag on the coffin. Mr. Rees is all set to be cremated now. Goodbye, Mr. Rees. Enjoy cremation. I don't know if that's something you would enjoy. Alright, let's package you all up in your urn. Get you going. Are we gonna put his pacemaker in there? Probably not. Using the cremulator, we'll break down these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Place the urn. Bones. 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 All done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it along with some flowers. Let's talk to some new people. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No. We talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you about the time we tailgated? I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never really seemed like he cared if I was there or not. Oh. I'm sure he cared in his own way. I always told him to quit smoking, but of course, he never listened to me, so that figures. February 28th. I thought I'd pass this along to you. Hi, Amy. I just wanted to thank you for the service the other month, and I apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me, and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. Jen, you hate mushrooms so much. I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker. Look at what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I don't remember the name of it, and I'm writing you on my phone, so I don't feel like Googling it right now. Anyway, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wear. Okay. Anyways, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made of what people call a biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms to help the Wow, okay, wait, 1 second. Anyways, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made with what people call a biomix, mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this one company even offers casket liners that for use in green caskets. I can't get this paragraph done. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm planning ahead. Am I right? Things to avoid. Singing at a funeral. Ooh, don't say awkward things at funerals. Welcome back. Now, we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's advice. What not to say at a funeral? You know, figuring out the right way to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since it's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comforting to other people. But fortunately, we can deliver a little bit more solid advice on what not to say to someone who's grieving. So here it is, Funeral Monthly's top 5 things not to say at a funeral. At least they're no longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this. It's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be a jerk and don't say it. Were they saved? No religious statements. Just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is it not comforting, it can also be insulting. They're with the angels now. See above notes, then rinse repeat. Let me know how I can help you. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning don't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant or buy tickets to see a movie together. I know how you feel. Even if you think so, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus on this yourself. Empathy doesn't always involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear about your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quick version of this list that can be applied to any situations, don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what else to say. Our son. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation. Yet, anyways, they're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare a body of a young man who took his own life. Oh. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney, or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you're uncomfortable with this subject. Instead, we can have a second body for you to prepare for a funeral we're hosting later in the afternoon. Game, you're asking a lot of big feelings from me right now. Charlie, is this suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know. I'm here if you need me. Good day, Mrs. Rose. Disregard our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was, clearly, not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. I feel like this is going to be a lot, but I will prepare this body. If it is... The deceased family has asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. Shape the body. Break rigor mortis. Alright, massage the body. This is a lot. This is... Move the eyes shut. There's like something very beautiful about the care that lots of people take in the death industry. But it super sucks when people don't respect what people want done. And there's a cat screaming at me. Okay. Massage the body. Like, good job, Laundry Bear. This is a very emotional game. And I also want to know how you came to know all of this. Did one of you work in a funeral home? Or know someone who works in a funeral home? Yeah, it's just somber. Like, it's hard to know what to say about all of this. Drain the goop. But I deeply appreciate it. It feels different. All done. Mike will take care of Mr. Scott's makeup, as well as dressing and putting him in the casket. Ellipses. Sob. Oh, okay. I wish we were closer. Wow, I can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. I'm real sad. I heard it wasn't going to be an open casket. I'm surprised it's public. Usual funerals for these circumstances are more private. I still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known, you know? Being able to do something to stop it. There's no way to know. You can't blame yourself. He wouldn't have wanted that. I know. It's just... It hurts. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Pay my respects. Goodbye, Mr. Scott. It was lovely to meet you. March 3rd. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated culture, which is a mouthful, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. Can I just say, first off, that this is bullcrap. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpses I pick up from the morgue every morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitative. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. Jen. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with the inaugural hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in it after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. What is my life? What is that sentence I just typed? But anyways, this evening I'm forwarding you to take place. This event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness that you've been talking about before. Could be good to talk to some of the things that you've been feeling. Lots of death-positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe space. From Death Cafe. Increase awareness of death with a view of helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have tea and cake, and talk with others about your thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." See everyone at the Upside Down Jar next Thursday. Right. Funeral rites, even in our own culture, may be something many of us may be unfamiliar with. For many people, all they know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in the media. But, and I think this goes without saying, funeral rites have the tradition, and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides different paths for dealing with death, but the goal is always the same: offering support, guidance, and ease of the people who are grieving. In Judaism, interment usually begins immediately after someone is passed. Up until burial, the body is never supposed to be alone, so often families appoint a shomer, guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begins as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic communities organize Local Islamic community organizations are also often involved and help the family make arrangements for the funeral service and burial. But not all practices are strictly religious focused. In the aughts of South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that requires family to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. Many families begin to cremate more often, but there are also companies that compress remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black, called death beads. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains a much more common in South Korea because of the space issues in graveyards and the expense of cremation. And not all practices are somber either. Ever hear of turning the bones or Famadihana, a ritual in the Malagasy people of Madagascar? Famadihana has families who return to their ancestral crypt, exhume the bodies wrapped in cloth before dancing with the bodies to lively music. This practice is a celebration, remembrance, and the way of keeping the deceased involved in family news. Death can be a difficult time for many people, obviously, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a beauty in the ways that we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. Alright, I need to take a sec because I've drinking a lot of water. So I will be back in just a second. Okay. Forward cremation. From Chad. Oh, great. Our new boss. Below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you are done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. that is hard. Losing people is hard. Prepare Mrs. Ionesco's body for cremation. Remove Miss Ionesco's watch and place it on the tray. Brand identification. Great. Just like, it's so slow, and I feel like it makes it a lot to appreciate. I also don't know, are all of these urns have different designs? Watch, tag, lid. All done. Okay. Let's go to the funeral. I wonder, is it, I don't want to, but is it possible to leave without talking to everyone? Should we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. Always, if you drive, please be safe and look and make sure that you look to see if there are cyclists. Because it's a rough way to lose someone. And it's a rough thing. Just in general. I mean, that's the whole stuff about the game. I'm glad you're here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. I have to go through all of her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No. Thanks. I mean, but no. I don't know, it's so intimate. Feels like I should do it by myself. She would kill me. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a closed book. Except for you. Yeah, she was special. Just walk right through their conversation. Sorry, just so glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled to use the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard what happened to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask Leah. This has been hard enough on all of them without asking about the legal ramifications of all of this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't have to deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. Oh, biking is a dangerous activity. Oh, goodbye, light. March 24th. Sending my little plan. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work? P.S. Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And no, I will not say hangry. Ever. Except for the time you just said hangry right now. Hello. As stated in a previous email, I'm just going to read this guy with the most condescending voice. Here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while on any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. First and foremost, there is a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second most importantly to this is that no tattoos are to be visible. I have tattoos. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell, i.e. always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think about the comfort and style of the deceased is an experience with no price limit on it. Do not do this. I hate this. This is honestly the worst. I probably should have been checking this. Oh, we're owned. Oh, it doesn't say how much they are. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved one to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Our partner catering concepts provides high quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can easily be defrosted the morning of the funeral. Gross. I mean, not gross, but like let people they got their own food. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition into the high-quality services Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. is known for. Chad, you're Chad. Hello, Charlotte. Thanks. Wow, you're such a great guy. I have reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this at the beginning, but we do not perform green funerals as they are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package, complete with embalming, casket, and vaults instead. I trust we will ensure we do not lose any customers. Charlotte. Chad. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs, like a human being, Charlie, like a human being. We as a species have seen the beginning of our end, Jen. Thank you, Jen. You're making my day much better after Chad. All right, long one. The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of coming them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting. It wasn't that long ago that we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes will almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive. But this process is counterintuitive to the grieving process. Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a longer period of time with their loved ones' bodies, which can help them mourn or give opportunities to family members and friends to see the deceased one last time before they're taken to be buried or cremated. The idea of keeping the deceased body at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time, and we can further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved one and see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, but they are economical. A traditional funeral, complete with body preparation, service, flowers, cards, and many of the hidden costs and fees, can cost upwards of $7,000 to $10,000. When you're able to take care of your loved one yourself, to wash and dress them, and to organize their viewing at home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or burial itself. However, it's important to understand that different rules apply given on what state you live in. In some states, it's illegal to have your loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require a funeral director's involvement, from signing the death certificate to overseeing burial or cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book. And just know that this may be an option available to you and your loved ones if so chose. I don't want to die. Okay. Chad. Love that you get my name wrong all the time. Charlotte. I am proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you. Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated is being paid a decent wage for the city for this services, cremation is preferred here as the most cost-effective of the two options. The first unclaimed body we'll be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body is yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver, aside from cremation. Alright, let's get to it. Before we cremate this gentleman, we need to prepare his body. He doesn't seem to have any valuables on him that would be damaged during cremation, so let's just worry about putting his identification tag onto the coffin with him. We're ready to cremate. Goodbye, buddy. I hope that the people who care about you remember you if they don't get to see you pass. Oh, the urns are different. Okay. I don't know if anyone's gonna be here. I guess I'm here. I witnessed this. I care. This is very intense. April 9th. Oh, I wonder if it's gonna get today's date. Hello all. We're thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprise Incorporated subsidiary Rose and Daughter just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us to access all of the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over $15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Incorporated Enterprise Inc.'s bright and sustained future. Oh my god. For Matthew, I'm done. Charlie, it's official. I've put in my 2 weeks notice. I know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself. But you I'm worried about. You're too good for this corporation, scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? Jen, I kissed her! Woo! Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she's like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, and so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried that you had lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super death positive, and isn't freaked out at all by my work. And also isn't too, into the last dude I saw. Jason, Michael, I don't remember. I just, really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. You go, Jen. Get your girl. She also totally gets what I mean when I say, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else I feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento Mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good. Fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of the Ferris wheel, be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from our last email. Do you think you're gonna do it? You know you have my support, 100%. No matter what you decide. Water, water everywhere. Is this... Oh, no. Oh, yes? Am I making my own funeral home? We can call it different things, like flameless cremation, a bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide. Or perhaps more commonly, resumation. Its technical name, though, is actually alkaline hydrolysis. Whatever we want to call it, it's here and it's environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. Hi, cat. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment. The high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gases effect being one of the chief among them. And water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious among us. So how does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkaline water heated up very high, about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. No idea what that is in Celsius. It basically works like a sped up version of natural decomposition. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at the factory, and the alkaline hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation processes. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some places became legal around the end of the first decade of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. Hi, would you like to read an email with me? Oh. Okay. Charlotte, I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose this sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That is part of your job. Dear Mr. Grant. Okay. We'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. I guess the first message. Regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure that she's taken care of. Okay, wave goodbye. Her heart attack was so sudden, we don't know what to do. I just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. Chad, the literal worst. Dear Mr. Dimka, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you, the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. I promise you your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one final time as she was, beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Let us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure that you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Gross. I love the exclamation points. It feels very like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Try not to be angry in my emails. The deceased families asked for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. Break rigor mortis by massaging the body. I don't understand what breaking rigor mortis means. Glue. Mouth. So. Alright. Moisturize the body. You open. Put a tube. Put the thing. Put the other tube. Turn on machine. And then massage while the machine works its goopy magic. Like, what does it feel like to massage a dead body? Like, how does this work? I understand, like, mechanically, but it feels like something that I have no knowledge of. I feel like death and the industries around death is something that we don't really talk about. And I guess that's one of the things that makes this game really beautiful. I mean, like, artistically, it is very beautiful. Oh my god, it was going down the whole time, and I didn't even notice. I could have known. So, and get rid of that goo inside your organs. Goop. Oh. Letting go too early. Okay. Goop. Okay. Gonna dress her and put her in her casket. This family does not want to have a funeral like this. They're gonna be really sad. And, like, they're gonna be right. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. Third. It's so cold in here. I think they have the air conditioning on too high. Yeah. Let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. It would be good to stretch my legs. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey, but what that chat guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I want Mom to know I love her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. It's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna miss her. Me too. Go see what these other people are doing. This feels so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons. Oh, hey, what did you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I've heard that show was so good. I saw the video of the one kid actor doing karaoke. Goodbye, Mrs. Dimka. I hope that you're okay and you're happy. August 30th? I thought it was April. Oh, damn. Oh. Congratulations. Whoa, I'm getting emotional about this end. Charlie, dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do to help, if there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to help. Best wishes, Amy Rose. P.S. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. Amy, I wish I could ask you questions. Every single email, you're like, ask me anything. This is how I send my emails off. I'm like, okay, thank you, bye. Ask me any questions you have. You'll never believe what job I'm working now. Open this email to find out. Hey, Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told my most important job wasn't steering. It was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree. And thankfully, I concentrated on my driving skills since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver. Charlie, can you believe that? Pretty sure I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering. I'd be fired immediately. I don't know what else to tell you. For some reason, I was worried you'd think less of me, but I don't know why. You've never been the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, I might add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute, but don't tell Amy that I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids, and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to eat. Be seeing you. I guess this is like my funeral home. Magnolia Forest, funeral home and natural. This game is making very emotional for the end of this. A natural burial park. Magnolia Forest, named after the magnolia trees that surround the funeral home. Fun fact, magnolias, yes, magnolias are so old, the like tree itself evolutionarily is so old that it existed before bees and butterflies and like other pollinators. So they're pollinated by beetles, which is why they have such thick leathery leaves, so that they can hold up to the beetles landing on them. All right. Specializes in at-home funerals and green burials in our natural burial park. Our goal is to empower families and encourage them to have a closer relationship with death and the dying process. The death of a loved one can be confusing and sometimes traumatic at times, and we want you to feel fully involved in your loved one's death care decisions. Oh my God, why? This is a lot. Whether you're looking to care for your loved ones from the comfort of your home, be present during their cremation, or bury them in a natural cemetery, Magnolia Forest is here to work with you and provide these simple but intimate and meaningful options. Our natural burial park allows the body to be returned to the earth and recycled naturally. It is intended to be an environmentally sustainable alternative to existing funeral practices. Our park has room for bodies of all sizes and ages, as well as beloved pets. Families also have the option to bury their loved ones themselves, if they so choose. Do you dig the hole? Oh God, that's really sad. I mean, I guess that's the point of like the process and the ritual and the doing. Prices. We believe in being transparent about our prices and practices. We are happy to explain all of our prices, work within your budget, and hope to make you feel comfortable and confident in your decisions. Let us know if we can answer any of your questions. Home funeral, $1,000, all inclusive. Green burial and services, $2,250 for adults, all inclusive. Direct cremation, $600, all inclusive. Infants are buried at no charge. We can provide a 3x3 plot and help opening and closing the grave. Alright, Jen, I need you to cheer me up. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase. But you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain things you don't want to. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for our visit and to check out your new place. Always, Jen. P.S. Have you heard about those green burial pods? When I find the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you. Jen, I run a business. From Eileen Hansen. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and for your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1 p.m. I'll see you soon. I'm glad Amy didn't die, which was my prediction at the beginning of this. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much. But thank you for helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyways, I think we're ready to get started now. Is this the end? This is the end. Have a good life, death. That was really beautiful. I feel very emotionally overwhelmed. Good job, everyone who's here. Gabby, Andrew, Helena, Jacqueline, Jen, Caitlin, Robbie, Chris. Okay, couldn't get your last names. And all of these people. Oh, who's Kermit? Look at all these people. Thank you to all of these people. Want to say goodbye? Made possible with support from the Ontario Arts Council. Thank you, Ontario Arts Council, for all of your patronage. Goodbye, Elaine, Emil, and Camille. Thank you for making this game, Laundry Bear. It was very beautiful, and I'm happy that I got to play it. And I'm happy that we got to see all of the things that happen in the death industry. And I want to look something up. The green cremation place, which was Union Cemetery. Okay. Seems like it is in Oshawa. No, this is the city of Oshawa's. That's not what I wanted. Wow. Restoring and protecting nature. Natural green burial grounds. How much is it to get buried? Every province set the rate for cemeteries perpetuity funds. Measured as a percentage, it's not the amount of each plot sale that must be put aside in a fund for long-term care. Example, in Ontario, if a plot costs $1,000 at a 40% rate, $400 is put into the fund. This doesn't answer my question, but... Wow. That's pretty cool. It seems like a nice option. I guess my final thoughts are consider what to do as your follow-up plan for when you pass. Alright, so that was really emotional and a lot of things. Thank you so much for being with me here. Such an emotional game. Again, I am Len. I am the Executive Director of Hand Eye Society, which is an arts and video game organization in Toronto, Canada. And we celebrate games as art. And this game was Mortician's Tale by Laundry Bear. And you can check it out. It's available on Steam. And yeah, I'm going to go have a very somber next few minutes. I hope that you have a wonderful evening. Bye.